Hello and welcome to my review of Wild Oud by Montale. Here I go, kind of trying to build up my niche brand reviews. So far I've kind of done a lot of celebrity and mainstream brands, but I'm veering towards niche brands a lot more. It's kind of good for my course that I'm doing. I need to kind of train my nose a bit more. And I've smelt a lot, I just haven't reviewed a lot. I've got plenty more to do, but for now this is my first ever Montale review. So yeah, Wild Oud. A little bit about Montale. They are a kind of expensive, for me anyway, niche brand, and a lot of their fragrances are centred around oud, or agarwood as it's sometimes known as well. Oud is the Arabic word for it, and this particular one is a unisex scent. They do some for men and some for women as well. I personally think this kind of veers towards more masculine smelling, but who am I to judge? A little bit about oud, if you've never smelled it before. I'm kind of familiar with it. You know, I know what it smells like. I understand, you know, there's different qualities of it, and it can, you know, it can be kind of not manipulated, but depending what it's put with, it can be, I guess, kind of bended a little bit. But yeah, I mean, what it is, if you don't know already, it's I think the most expensive wood in the world. It's really favoured in Arabian perfumes. So if you ever smell Arabian perfumes, you might be familiar with what it actually smells like. And what it is the agar wood is kind of the wood that comes from this tree, which I can't pronounce the name of it. I think it's I was going to say Aguilera, then it's not Aguilera, it's Aguileria or something like that, tree. But what happens is sometimes insects burrow into the bark, and what happens is the heartwood, which is like the core of the tree, gets infected or gets a disease, and the tree reacts by producing this resin or this strange kind of reaction, and that is what is taken out of the centre. So I think they kind of do it on purpose. I think it's kind of cultivated like that. They farm it basically. But yeah, the way it smells is, it's an incredibly complex note on its own anyway. So it is kind of hard to describe. It's very deep, it's very rich, I would say, obviously exotic. Just the word Arabian pretty much sums up oud anyway. It's kind of incensey, nutty, and I think sometimes it kind of smells a bit dirty as well. But yeah, it's very complex on its own. So what Montale do is they kind of, I guess, base a lot of their scents around it, and then add other stuff in to kind of veer it off to create a different kind of oud scent, basically. So this one is Wild Oud. I've got one other one. I've got Moon Oud as well, which I will be reviewing. I smelled that briefly yesterday, and it's quite different from this. So yeah, as I said, it's an eau de parfum. I think all of them are eau de parfums, as far as I know. Oud also, it's a very strong smelling ingredient. So, I mean, you can wear it on its own. I think a lot of people do. But this particular blend has got other notes with it. So it's got geranium with it as well. Usually found in men's fragrances. It's a flower that is you know, kind of in masculine fragrances. You've got Artemisia, which is also known as wormwood. That is a herb. It's very aromatic smelling and apparently very strong as well. Then you've got bergamot, which I always say is kind of like sexed up lemons. It's a lemony scent, but it's a lot more interesting. It's kind of more herbal and got green tinges to it. Then you've got teak wood, which is a very light wood. It's a blonde wood, so it's not, as far as I know, a very overpowering wood. I've got another fragrance that from another niche brand that's got a lot of teak in it, and it's absolutely beautiful. Then you've got Sumatran patchouli. I'm not sure how that differs from patchouli, but patchouli is a very kind of earthy, associated with kind of hippies scent. It can be kind of peppery as well sometimes. Then you've got tobacco and amber. So I've been wearing this all day today, so it's on me anyway. It's on my wrist in the pretty much dry, very dry stages, but I've saved just enough to reapply it to my hand so I can kind of talk you through the stages of it. So yeah, I mean, it probably would help if you smelled oud before, but I'll try my best. So yeah, when this, excuse me, I'm just going to touch my phone because I have it on timer, and if I go over 8 minutes my camera's going to cut off, so I might need to stop. So yeah, when you first put it on, it's obviously the main star of the show, Oud. That's the main ingredient of this. I wrote a review today, and what I said is, it obviously overpowers everything at first. It doesn't, not overpower. What I said in my review was that it's like it covers the other notes with a blanket. It doesn't overpower, but it pretty much dominates everything else. But I can immediately smell geranium. Geranium has a very strong rosy vibe, but it's a lot more bolshy and it's a lot more full. Rose can be quite delicate and sweet. Geranium is like the real kind of darker sister of rose, I think, and it's also an extremely strong note. I studied that one also recently, and it pretty much takes over a lot of stuff when you put it in a fragrance. But yeah, so you've got this really exotic Arabian oud, and then you've got geranium straight away, which is really, really nice. I really like it. There's a lot of dark undertones to it. I would describe oud as a dark note anyway. It is a kind of dark, heavy note, but this has been paired with some other really dark notes. Patchouli is a heavy note. Tobacco, another thing that's put in a lot of men's fragrances, so you can see how it kind of veers towards the masculine. I really like it. I mean, I'm still kind of trying to decide if I actually like the smell of oud or not. I kind of do, but not when I first smell it. It needs to kind of temper out a little bit, and it's on the skin, it really does kind of change and morph and become a lot more settled and interesting. I think the earlier stages of oud is not really my taste, but I'm getting there. I'm getting used to it. So that's kind of what I smell first. I don't really smell any kind of herbal citrusiness from the bergamot at all. This is immediately oud, like I said. Geranium is there. It does have that kind of dark floral element. And then you've got obviously the tobacco and patchouli just adding to that darkness a little bit more. So that's when it's wet. I'm just going to pause my camera and re-record in 1 second because I'm going to cut off. Bear with me 1 second. I'm back again. So yeah, the dry down stages. I've let this fragrance dry down on me about 4 times today, and what I discovered was this throws a lot of different things at me in the dry down stages. Sometimes it smells really crisp and really incensey, and other times it smells really soft, which really baffles me. And what I'm guessing from that is that amber is coming into play during the dry down stages. Amber is a very soft note. It softens the blend, it gives a bit of roundness. So I think that amber is kind of just like going back and forth between showing itself and not. When it's not there, it's a real crisp floral oud, and then when it is there, it kind of becomes one, and that's, the amber really shows itself when it's dry, and that's what's here. It smells here very, very settled. The oud has calmed down incredibly. It's very much like a woodsy amber now, and there's this sweetness that just comes out of nowhere. I wouldn't necessarily say that amber is a sweet note. I guess it is in a way, but this smells a lot sweeter than what I would expect from looking at what's in it. Because patchouli isn't sweet, bergamot isn't sweet at all. That is, as I said, it's a kind of herbal citrus. Artemisia is also known as wormwood, like I said, and that is a kind of herbal aromatic scent. So I don't really know where the sweetness comes from, but it does. I have found in the past that my my skin chemistry does tend to make things go very sweet anyway. Like if I wear something with vanilla, it is a vanilla-tastic scent. So I'm guessing maybe that's just me, because this is a niche brand and it's quite, you know, high quality ingredients. You know, you never know what's going to happen on your skin. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I've discovered from my first kind of baby steps into Montale. I do enjoy it. I wouldn't spend the money on it because it is quite expensive. And I just got home tonight and asked my partner if, you know, they could smell this on my skin, and the answer was no. So I was under the impression that Montale fragrances do project quite well. I mean, most of them anyway, but this one, not so much. When you first put it on, yes, the oud is all you can smell, but when it settles, I think it's probably just a real nice kind of wafty scent as opposed to being a powerhouse scent. And that is my review of Wild Oud by Montale. I'll see you guys soon for another one. Thank you for watching, as always. Bye bye.